fourth day of group stage action is about to unfold here live at the Milgram Civic Auditorium in San Francisco, California, and fans are here in droves to support the 16 teams striving to be the best in the world. And as yesterday, there's no shortage of energy or fandom in this building as fans will be driving their teams, cheering them on to the end of the first round robin here in the group stage. INTZ shown here making their way into the arena to battle with HQ. West Door going to be back in the lineup for HQ today. And of course, fans in Chengdu, China are going wild for their teams, EDG and IMA for them to cheer on today. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm James Dash Patterson, and joining me on the LSS are Clement Chu, Alberto Cunha, and Joshua Jatleesman. We conclude our first round robin, week one here. How are we feeling today, gentlemen?
I'm feeling like we're roughly 3/8 of the way through the group stage as a whole.
That feels like a very accurate assessment of where we are right now. How about everybody else?
I mean, I'm really excited to see the final day of the first round robin just because it has so many little implications for the teams to kind of show their little niche on the meta and really show that they've actually improved and not just regressed.
It'll give us maybe somewhat of a complete picture having had all the teams play each other. Now that we've had a good look at all of our international competitors, though, we can really dive into some tournament trends as they develop.
Yeah, and we've had a bunch of fun jumping to conclusions about all the strength of all the teams, and it feels like everyone can beat anyone else. But when you look at the regional averages, actually, the Korean teams are 6-1 still, by far the most dominant region still. So while there is a lot of craziness, we still have that cream across the top.
And if you're looking at the bottom of the table, there's still 3 teams without wins in Flash Wolves, G2, and Splice. And surprise, none of those are wildcard teams. 2 of those actually were the first seeds from their region. We're looking at here is the Flash Wolves. I think they have to be really, really disappointed in themselves. They're looking back at this week and thinking we should have gone 2-0 right here instead of 0-2.
Flash Wolves in particular have been ahead in the game more than any other team in the tournament, save for SKT. So they've been winning for a long time in most of these games and have to be really disappointed to be 0-2 right now.
Struggling to get those wins under their belt. Flash Wolves certainly expected to do a lot more damage here in the first week of group stages, but you contrast that with what might be now our new favorites in SKT.
And SKT has been looking so good. They came into the tournament, we're a little bit worried about how well they're going to be doing, but they're looking crisp. Their actual execution and ability to snowball games is the best one we've seen so far, and if they can keep this up to date, these guys might look like a very strong case for a 3-time world champion.
And if you look at where they've improved, it has to be the jungler position. They're firing off on both their junglers. Bengi and Blank are both playing. Blank yesterday said he's comfortable on the Nidalee, which has traditionally been one of his weaker picks now. And if you look at Faker, 2 player of the games, he's really leading his team, bodying Jensen, and then just bodying another mid laner.
And as we talk about Italy, we got to talk about the early game jungle pool right now. It seems like teams have kind of taken an approach to change that jungle and make sure that teams don't have the ability to pressure the map early. And we've seen the rise of like Starner and Olaf make their way. Starner 2-0 I'm not entirely sure about that. Olaf has had a lot of success. His early game prowess has been pretty much unrivaled. It seems like a lot of the teams have no experience playing against this champion, and he's snowballing out of control in these games.
But on that note, Aurelion Sol has been re-enabled and is available to pick right off the bat.
And I think it has a large impact on the pick and ban phase. It's not like some random champion is now available and maybe a team has been practicing it, but we're going to see it. No, it immediately slots in to the top tier mid laners among Syndra, Cassiopeia, and Valkyrie. So it will be heavily banned or picked away. And I also think that opens up the jungle pool for some of the players to get the S-tier junglers more often, because we're going to be seeing another champion that's kind of crowding out the available damage.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, especially because he has such a strong early ability to push the lane. It makes it so that the junglers really hammer that early advantage and find more opportunities to rump. We see the likes of teams like CLG that are able to just go down to the bottom lane and find opportunities to affect the side lanes in areas that maybe teams aren't used to such a quick ability to play. On the other hand, he might just be banned and nobody wants to see him.
Well, we'll get 6 games to figure it out today. Now, yesterday we saw Smeb go huge, and we weren't the only ones who called it out. Alan Burns took to Twitter and said, that play by Smeb literally made me jump out of my chair. Us too, Alan. Us too.
Yeah, I think that play was amazing.
Running away! Expect gets caught down. He's got a PA, remember, but he needs Mega. Oh, no! Delete it! Remember, I've seen one at G2 or aced! The best timing I've ever seen on a Kennen Ultimate. That was insane!
And the nastiest thing about that play is that they actually couldn't even flash out. They were silenced by Gorilla the entire time, so they just had to sit there and take the cannon ulti, which was just beautiful to watch.
I mean, that win for them yesterday really was a team effort. Prey playing well, keeping them in the game, and then we had Peanut with that huge steal. That allows Smeb to make this play set up by Koro in that silence, of course, as you mentioned. So now remember to hit us up at LOL Esports using the hashtag World's Big Plays and call out your favorite moments from Worlds 2016. But of course, as we turn towards today's games, let's check out the standings heading in to Day 4. Rocks Tigers lead Group A at 2-0. Defending champions SK Telecom T1 remain on top of Group B. Group C stands in a 4-way tie. Also neck and neck, Group D has 3 teams vying for that top spot. Today, 3 of our groups are back in action, beginning at Group C. The LMS's AHQ battles Brazil's INTZ kicking things off, followed by EDG versus H2K. Next is Group A. Albus Nox Luna take on European champions G2, followed by CLG versus the Rocks Tigers. Finally, Group B takes to the stage with 2-time world champions SK Telecom T1 versus the Flash Wolves. By the final game of the day, we're going to be seeing C9 and IMA doing battle. Now, throughout the tournament, Riot Games 2 is bringing you an alternate perspective on the action happening here at Worlds. Today, joining our casters along with Alex Each, Kiwi Kid, and Zig, they're going to be focusing on individual matchups and answering your gameplay and pro strategy questions live on air. And now AHQ Esports Club and INTZ are setting up on stage as we speak, so it's time for me to turn to you guys, ask you for those predictions to kick off the day. Down the line, who are we taking, Clement?
I have to go with my own region. I think AHQ is going to win here. If you look at the best players on these teams, it's Ziv against Yang. And I think Ziv has just been so much more of a monster. 40% of his team's damage, he can take a lot of punches, and he can throw a lot back.
All right, zeroing in on